Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Monday. Today I want to talk about we just got. Spring just happened. So the first day of spring was only a couple days ago, like 3 days ago. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about spring. So a lot of people do. There's of course the infamous spring cleaning. I know that's a huge thing for people. Spring means a lot of things for different people, and it definitely can be. There's a lot of things about spring that can be good and affect our mental state, and it depends on how. And we just there's things to just consider and everything. So the spring cleaning, we'll start with that. I know a lot of people like to do spring cleaning. Getting rid of the old so you can bring in the new, uh, which is really great. Now, for some people, here's the thing about that though. It doesn't have to be spring to clear things out. Whenever you're ready for things to be released and cleared out, then do it. And that's the thing is maybe don't let other people pressure you with the spring cleaning thing because maybe right now is not a time that you need to clear things out. Maybe you had already cleared things out not that long ago. And it's not just a physical thing because I know a lot of people, spring cleaning, it's, let me clean the whole house and let me get rid of stuff that I don't need anymore and all that stuff. People really focus it on a physical thing, but it can also be a mental thing. And this is something that I think is really important because doing the actual physical activity of spring cleaning does also impact the mental state because you're releasing things, you're getting rid of things that are weighing on you. Um, you're cleansing, and that includes on your mental state. By token, you could do spring cleaning mentally. Doesn't have to You don't have to go through your closet and get rid of all the things that you don't wear anymore right now or, whatnot. You can clear out mentally different things. So, maybe consider different relationships that might be weighing on you. Maybe think about those. Maybe think about if there's certain people that you need to release out of your life, then maybe consider doing that. And I know that's a hard thing, but sometimes there's just a lot of people well, not a lot of people, there's times that people get toxic and you don't realize it because people change and sometimes people don't change for the best. Or the other thing is people change and you change and you guys just who you were when you became friends or you became partners or who you were when you started out. Yes. Who you were when you started out may not be compatible to who you guys are now. And that's okay. So now is a good time to, yeah, it's spring, it's fresh start. But yes, also good habits or beliefs. That's it. We'll get there in just a second. So, think about relationships, think about other things that may be weighing on you that you can try to release. As Llama Mama pointed out, it is good for habits or beliefs. So the other part about spring cleaning is it's not just when you do some kind of clearing, some kind of anything like that, you also want to make sure you bring something in. So that's great that you're releasing all this old stuff because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And I know it doesn't seem like it is, but you clearing out your closet and getting rid of your old stuff, there's energy attachment. There's mental attachment and everything that is with it. And so you need to make sure you bring in something, not just clear it out, but make sure you bring in something. So a lot of people I know don't just do clearing within the intention of bringing in something new. So yeah, good habits is a great way to start. Also, clearing out bad habits. That's the other thing about spring cleaning is, maybe bad habits or beliefs or whatever. But then that's where you try to clear out the negativity, the things that aren't working well, that aren't serving you, to then bring in something new, something fresh. That's the thing about spring, is it's, new life and new growth. And so that growth, you can do new growth for yourself. Now, I know we're in month 3 of 2026, and I know I talked about New Year's resolution type of thing as more, looking at it as more of goals instead of like a whole big resolution thing. And maybe you had some goals that you started with the beginning of the year, and maybe things kind of fell off track. So, clear out being disappointed that maybe you didn't end up exercising as much as you wanted to. Things happen, things get in the way. It's also, those are things that are habits that you have to build, and habits take a while to build. So clear out the disappointment you have of maybe not completing the things you wanted to complete, and then refocus and bring in the idea of starting new into that habit, into that goal. You have to completely let go of relationship, friendship. You could just clean the negativity by releasing hurt and setting boundaries. Yes, absolutely. It's not, and that's the thing is, people are pretty quick to give up on relationships nowadays, which I think is kind of sad. And I mean, some things are just too toxic and they just need to go. There are certain people who are just not good people and they just need to go. I know, I experienced it. Um, so sometimes you get caught up with the wrong people, you don't realize it, and then once you realize it, it is, there you go. But yes, there's times that, maybe something happened, and you need to just clear the air. There's a friend of mine that I've known for a very long time, and we had a falling out, and I actually believe it was around springtime that we reconnected. We had a falling out because of some things, and then one day I sent something saying I miss you. And so then we had a long conversation and cleared the air. And yeah, we set some boundaries. We talked about, hey, like, I wasn't okay when you did this. I wasn't okay when you did that. I understand that I made this mistake. And that's the other thing is, when you're talking through things, don't be afraid to own up to your mistakes, and also think about that. Think about, if there's a relationship that is still has good things, but it's just maybe not the best right now. Think about the things that's just got maybe there's problems. Think about the things that you want to say, how you're feeling about what the person is doing, and then think about the things that you may be doing that aren't contributing positively, and try to think about how you can help shift that. And also listen to them to see if they feel that there are certain things that you've been doing that you didn't necessarily know. Because like I said, when I reconnected with this friend, there were certain things that I didn't realize upset her, and there were certain things that she didn't realize upset me, and so it was just a matter of feelings weren't being talked about correctly. And so we made this deal that we're going to make sure that we talk about things more. And that's a communication, like, communication is such a key thing in any relationship at all. So yeah, right now that, talking about spring, bringing in the new, bringing in a fresh. And maybe there's certain relationships that need to be refreshed, that need to be cleansed, that need to have things let go, things, negativity, and then have a new start, have a new positive thing going. So, and yeah, setting boundaries is a huge thing. And that can also have a huge contribution to problems in relationships, is that it's hard to set boundaries. And especially when you have, a lot of times when you have relationships that have lasted for a while too, you're just like, oh, well, this is just how it is and whatever. But no, it doesn't have to be. If that's something that's not going well for you, that's impacting you negatively, then talk to that person. And they should be willing to, if they care about you and everything, they should be willing to talk to you and work it out. But yes, boundaries are huge. Boundaries are huge. And that's boundaries for anything. It doesn't have to be just a relationship. Starting the whole bringing in new things. think about things that have been negatively impacting you, that have been weighing you down. Because, like, winter is, the death of things and stuff. And so now we're bringing in the new life. We're bringing in the new, bringing new life. So, um, definitely now is the time to sit there and go, okay, these are, yeah, negative hurts and feelings and stuff. What are things I can do to work through them and release them? So that way I can bring in new positive memories. And self boundary are crucial to peace of mind. Yes, absolutely. It is. It's very crucial. And that's boundaries with everything. Boundaries with, coworkers, boundaries with family, boundaries with partner, boundaries with friends, boundaries with yourself. Boundaries just in general, boundaries. And that is something, if you think about things that have been maybe weighing you down, and think about maybe why they're weighing you down. Is it a matter of, you're burnt out because you're too busy trying to make everybody else happy and you don't ever set any time for yourself? Well, then think about it and go, okay, I need to make sure I put more time aside for myself. So, you know what? If I have to say no to this person because I need to take care of myself, I need to have time for myself, then that's what I need to do. And people need to understand that that's what I need for myself, is I need to be able to have more time to myself. Yeah, because it's a huge, that is a huge thing for peace of mind. If you don't set boundaries, and that's the other thing, is just because that would be like a mental boundary of, I'm not going to allow everybody to run me down. And then that's also boundaries you set with other people and let them know, like, hey, I can't always be this person for you. I need to be able to take care of myself. I need to be able to have me time. There's a lot of different things with boundaries. That's where you explore. You figure out what boundaries it is you need. And sometimes it may be hard to kind of figure out what it is. So something you could do is, write it out, journal it out. Write down things that you feel are weighing you down. And then look at it and see if there's a common thing. And then try to figure out a way that you could put a boundary so that way that's not continuing to weigh you down, so you can be refreshed and new and, yeah, in a better place. So this is a great time, to blossom, just like all the flowers and everything, to be able to remove the things that are, weighing you down and keeping your petals closed, so you can allow the sunlight to come in and let yourself blossom into a better, happier, newer person. So those are some definite things that I recommend. Yeah, mental cleaning, it can be relationships, it can be boundaries, and it can just be, maybe other negative memories or something. Maybe there's certain things that you haven't. Now, okay, I will say, working through past negative past feelings and stuff can be really difficult, especially if you're talking about it being traumatic. That can be very difficult. And that, depending on the level of trauma, you definitely should seek help, professional help for. There are things you can do, and I could talk about that at a different time. There are things you can do to try to kind of help work through stuff, but I definitely recommend, if you have PTSD and you're noticing it's affecting you, to seek professional help. But we can talk about that later. However, it is something that you can look at. You can look and see, okay, I know the memory of this person is dragging me down. What can I do to clear it? What can I do to release it? Or just, think about the fact that this person is weighing me down and I don't even realize it, even though they're not in my life anymore, they're out of my life. What is it that I can do to kind of help shift that? To help, release it, to really focus on, and maybe that's the thing, is you have somebody who's left your life, and for good, for a very good thing that they did, but maybe you haven't had the time to really sit there and process it and let it go. And that's not, I know that's not easy, not at all. But maybe this is time to now sit down. Maybe, again, journal things out. You could also talk to somebody, talk things out to somebody, so you can maybe realize what it is that's dragging you down, what it is that's still plaguing you about it. So that way you can let that darkness go. So again, you can be in the sun and blossom. But yeah, good habits and beliefs. That's definitely a good time for, it's a good time to go ahead and to do that. If there's, because, now that it's warmer outside and whatnot, I know it depends on where you're at, how warm it is, but I know it is starting to warm up and it should be warming up. Here where I'm at, we just got through a heat wave and it's been very warm. But now there's more things that are feasible and you can do. And so, consider things that maybe were a little too difficult because you were snowed in. I don't have that problem, but I know it's been a problem this past winter. So, you know, the sun is out. What do you want to do? Do you want to, because it is good. All right. So now this is a tough thing. Sunlight is good to have. Now, sunlight is I have a very complicated relationship with sunlight because I am in fact a ginger. And the sun burns. I look at the sun and I'm sunburnt for a year. So I try to do a balance of trying to, like, for example, I try to walk a mile every day. And I go either right at sunrise or sunset, usually sunset. So the sun is still out, but it's not actually, the rays aren't actually like burning down on me, so then I don't burn. But even if you're in the shade or anything, that doesn't matter. Just being out and having that sunlight exposure, just having that natural light does in fact affect our mental state. Because that's something, there's a thing called, some people know, but there is a thing called seasonal depressive disorder. And a lot of people, hi, how are you doing? A lot of people have it. A lot of people, and some people have it like more severe than others. But most people deal with it. And it's where people get depressed in wintertime because there's not as much sun. Now there are different things that you can do to help that. There's actually lights that they've made that is there to stimulate sun. So that way you can help with that and whatnot, because it does actually really affect us. So now that the sun is coming out more, embrace it. Just exhausted. I'm sorry to hear that. Did you have a busy day? You got a lot going on. But yeah, so that is something, think about. Maybe that's something you should do. I'm good. Yeah. I finally, I've been meaning to do Mental Health Monday for a little bit now. I finally got around to it. It's been chaotic last couple weeks. I've had some health issues. I dealt with a migraine and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that kind of impacted my ability to do certain stuff. But health, it we're doing better with that. So you had guests over. Were they not guests that you enjoy? I'm sorry to hear that yesterday was rough. Oh, that's not cool. That is so not cool. I don't understand that. I really don't. It's very frustrating. And this is one of many reasons why I have no intention on having children. Because I would have a hard time having a kid go over to another, have a play date with another kid and stuff, and um not want to parent, because not a lot of people parent their children very well, in my opinion, anymore. So I would have a hard time if some little brat came over and started doing some shit. especially when I had taught my kid better. And so I would end up parenting and things would, it would be a mess. So there's one of many reasons why I don't have any intention on having children. A lot of it is health reasons. Um, a lot of it is health reasons, but that is one of many reasons why there is no intention of those coming into my life. Everything was scattered and trashed. Dude, I really don't understand why people are like that. I don't understand why it's so hard. Just, make your it's not hard to try to have people be decent. Why don't you want your child? I mean, I guess that's the thing. There's a lot of people aren't there's unfortunately not a lot of decent people in the world. So why would they teach their child to be decent when they're not a really decent person? They spilled juice all over your oh, hell no! What console? Oh, dude. Have you contacted No, that's not okay. How important are these guests? Because like for me, I'd be going after their ass. Yeah, I would be going after the parents. Because no, that's unacceptable. I know it was the kid who did it, but the thing is, they're your children, so you're responsible for them. And they should not be doing that. So whatever they do, you take responsibility for, especially like when they're younger and everything. Uh so yeah, I don't know exactly how you feel about confrontation. And so happened is that my new drawing tab is there and perfectly fine. It stayed in its place. Okay. Did something happen? Yeah, I'm sorry. I would be going after these people. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Something like that? No, you need to take responsibility for that. No. Because, if you were in a store and that shit happened, you'd be responsible for it. So, that's a shouldn't matter where you're at. Your kid's misbehaving and ruined, especially something like that. You need to take responsibility for it. I'm just saying. I don't, I just, I, yeah. See, here we go. Here's an example of bringing in good habits. Maybe you realize that your kids aren't being, it doesn't even have to be your kids, anything, aren't being as good as you want them to be, and so change it. Like for in this instance, I mean, I don't know what these people are like, but your kids aren't being good. So help them break that habit and teach them new lessons of how to be a better person. Yeah, and good. I'm glad you did that. I'm afraid to know what they said. People don't like to take responsibility for things anymore. So, I mean, I get that, but like, parent your child better. So, did you work out some kind of deal with them? I mean, nobody's in a good financial situation in this economy. But yeah, I mean, don't know. It's a tough one. I get it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get a new one? I don't blame you. That's rough. Especially when you have like an attachment, which you do. You get a relationship. When you're a gamer, you get a relationship with with your console. I mean, I've never thrown away any of my consoles. Um, yeah, I still have my Game Boys and my different DSs and my, GameCube and my Xbox 360 and all that. I still have that stuff and I won't get rid of it. Yeah, no, I understand that completely. RPC is used for a lot of things and it doesn't necessarily love it. So yeah, especially depending on the kind of PC. Now we did, well, Llama Mom is the one who, because of work purposes, yeah. So I don't know anything about computers. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I can run computer programs, certain programs, just because of my background in biology and psychology. Because you have to know how to run statistic programs and whatnot. So I know how to do that, which is why I could hold my own on OBS here because I can understand certain programs, learning certain programs, data inputting and stuff like that. But just computers in general, no, no, it's not my expertise. But Llama Mama knows a lot about computers, and so she like worked really hard to come up with a computer that was good because we have to have it for both our embroidery, which we do our own designs. Um, so it's not exactly animation and modeling stuff, but it is design. It's literally called Design Shop. We have two different programs that we have to use, and then there's the whole there's a whole separate program just to have the machine run. And I mean, you're talking about like being able to move stitch by stitch, and they're pretty intensive programs. And then is also where I stream and game certain things. So like my computer doesn't particularly love when I play Silent Hill. I've been trying to figure that out because unfortunately, yeah, computers, even if you get nice gaming computers and stuff like that that are they only like to handle stuff so long and so much. Apparently this computer is getting old. I don't think so, but I guess it is. I spent a lot of money on it because yeah, yeah, you definitely need to, well, find something be cheaper. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of my I know my Xbox 360 that was used and it still works like a charm. Why? I mean, I can't say anything about PlayStation. I don't know anything about PlayStation. Um, yeah, I know. I don't know anything about PlayStation. I'm definitely a Nintendo person. Uh, Xbox as well, and then some of my gaming I do on Steam, but I still use a controller because I'm just old school like that. I can't do the keyboard thing. I can't do it. The only time I can do is Sims because that was always made for the computer, so that's different. But like I can't do it. I don't know. I need to be able to button mash and yeah, just it's just a thing. I need to be able to actually move my character. Anyway, so I don't really know what to tell you with that because I mean I guess it depends on how much cheaper you're talking. If you're talking not a significant a lot cheaper, then yeah, maybe just go with a new one. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if there's a new one coming out. Like I said, I don't know anything about PlayStation. I don't know anything. I know people who play PlayStation, but I don't know anything about the system myself. I know PlayStation is kind of its own thing. Like, there's been a lot of games that I've had where PlayStation was the last one to join the party, with, like, crossplay and stuff. So most people only sell consoles when they start overheating. Not always. I mean, is there a new... Is PlayStation the most recent one? I guess that's the question. Because some people sell their consoles when there's a newer version out, and... But yeah, that is unfortunately a problem, is that if it's the current version, a lot of people will tend to sell things because the used is... Oh. I'm afraid to... I'm gonna guess it, a new one is like 500. Yeah. And that's the latest model, right? There's not a PS6. I don't think there is. I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm so sorry. I know I feel... You would think that I would know more of this stuff, but I don't. Like I said, I only know about the consoles I play. Yeah. So yeah, is there any intention on there being a PlayStation 6 anytime soon? I mean, I guess that's a question, because if it's... Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then I mean, and it's something that you're gonna be getting, then I mean, if you could just get... Yeah, if you just get one to hold you over. I don't know how quickly they're supposed to be coming out with PlayStation 6. If it's like the next 3 years, or if it's like in the next year. Because if it's a couple months, because you always put a fan on something that if it's overheating. Yeah, that's true. At least it would be... Yeah. Because then, yeah, brand new is unfortunately the safer option. Um, the used console that I used, or that I got, was a... Where's my mouse? Shit. Hold on. Sorry. Oops. The used console that I got was uh an Xbox 360. But at that point in time, the new Xbox... I have an Xbox 360, yeah. But at that point in time, a new Xbox had come out. So it was just somebody selling their... And sometimes it's just a matter of people, because, like, I have... My cousin at one point in time sold her Switch because she just didn't have any use for it anymore. So it just kind of depends. Yeah, I have the Star Wars edition. It's really cool. But at the time, I wasn't able to get... When they released the Star Wars edition, but then I was able to find somebody who had it, and they were getting rid of it because... I don't remember if they got... I think it was because they got the new system, and so they didn't want it anymore. Yeah, I know, that's the newest one we've gotten. That's because they had a really good deal through Verizon. But yes, I have a 360, and then yeah, I have a Series X. That's... honestly, half my streams are on the Series X. When you see the fancy little setup like it is right now, I'm at my computer, but when you usually just see the game with a little picture in the corner, like a little camera without the fancy stuff on it, it's because I'm streaming directly from my Xbox. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to do Mina, the female trickster. I mean, I've already done a gender bend trickster, but I kind of want to do like the actual... the new skin that they did. I got it. I love her. She's awesome. So I'm kind of planning on that one. There's a couple different cosplays I am planning. I have at least different ones that I know that I want to do for Comic-Con. That's the first one that I'm trying to make sure I have set up, because yeah, it's we're coming to the end of March, and that's in July, and that shit goes by pretty quick because I can't believe we're already at the end of March. Is there a chance I could make your panels? What do you mean my panels? Oh, no, thank you. I do all my stuff on my own. I have some stuff I need to update. I just haven't gone there yet. Um, but no, thank you. I do my stuff on my own. Um, I I don't really have I streaming is a way for me to bring in more income to my family. Um, and so paying people to help make my stream look nicer, well, yeah, that's a nice idea. I can't, no. I can't do that. Um, oh yeah, I appreciate the offer and I wish you luck. But yeah, no, I do my own stuff. I actually even draw my own emotes. Um, everything you see, I've got the layout and stuff from um Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Stream Elements, I think. But I'm the one who like put all the info in and all that. So, um there's still some working I need to do and still some stuff that I want to fix up. But yeah, no, sorry. I wish you luck. I really do, but I've I need to save my money so I can continue to have a roof over my head because living in California is very expensive. Yes, I wish you the best of luck. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the follow. Let me follow you back. Um, but yeah, so spring. um, I do. My Instagram, I don't have my socials updated in my on my thing, well on my in my Nightbot, so I'd have to put it. So that is my social for both TikTok, which I do post like clips and stuff on TikTok as well, and for Instagram. Yes, I have a lot more stuff. I actually have I need to go because it reminds me my on my about me I have an outdated picture of my Trickster. Um I need to change that because that picture is I love that picture, don't get me wrong, but I have a new version of that picture where I've um I've lost a lot of weight that I've worked really hard to lose and to get myself in shape. So I like I redid basically some of these pictures. Oh, thank you so much. I'll call you back after the stream. But yeah, so I want to replace that picture because I like my new picture obviously. But don't get me wrong, of course I love that picture still, but um I obviously want to do the new one and I need to do that. So I've been meaning to do that. I just haven't yet. It's things have been kind of insane. Um yeah. Honestly, I don't spend as much time at my computer as I probably should. And part of that is because I haven't been able to run my machine because usually when I'm working on patches, I'll work on different stuff. Okay, sounds good. I'll work on different stuff. So, okay, back to the whole spring thing. But yeah, so spring cleaning, physically, mentally, think about all those different things. And something that's super important is make sure it's not just about clearing out, but bringing in something new. So a lot of people focus on, clearing out things, but then they don't have a direction of something new. You want to bring in something new because otherwise you're just having this void and it's not really going to be that effective. The whole reason why you want to clear things out is so you can have something refreshed, something new, something better. Um so, you know, if that means you're freeing if you're clearing out stuff that like just items, you're clearing out your closet. You're getting rid of clothes that you don't ever wear, but that's because you're now bringing in a new space. And make sure you have that mentality and you put that kind of energy and stuff into it because that's going to make it even bigger is, okay, I'm removing this stuff either, maybe because I have new clothes I want to put up or because everything's too cluttered and I don't like it. So now I have new space. So make sure you focus on not just what you're releasing, not what you're letting go, but also really think about and remember what it is that you're bringing in new as you're clearing this out. Because that's super important. It's important for, you know, mentality and all of that. Because you may not realize it's gonna have much bigger impact. Is even if it's just a matter of you're bringing in new space for new opportunities or just new space so you feel less cluttered. So when you clear things out, when you're doing your spring cleaning, yes, and of course mentally, physically, all of it. When you're doing your spring cleaning, make sure you clear out the things that are not wanted, but then think about the things that you want. What are you making space for? Are you making space just because you feel too weighed down and so you want to feel lighter? And that maybe your closet is doing that. Hold on, sorry. Uh maybe the stuff in your house, like there's stuff that you need to get rid of. And so maybe it's just weighing down on you and it's just that freeing of space. Maybe that's the new thing that you need. But of course, the whole thing about freeing of space is that you can also think about it as freeing up that space is allowing for you have more space that's either one not weighing you down so you can have more of you to feel lighter to be able to do because ultimately if you're freeing up space then you're going to be able to do things and have things be more in a better state. So when you're clearing things out, focus on what you want to bring into it. Because that's kind of an important thing. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't do. I hear people talk about spring cleaning all the time about how, they went through all of their kitchenware or their closet or whatever and they got rid of their storage and they got rid of a whole bunch of stuff because they don't ever use it or because you know whatever it is but because like I need to clear out clothes that don't fit me anymore because they're way too big. I discovered that with my pajamas. So I need to go through my clothes and figure out what is just needs to go. But by that, I'm clearing out these clothes that are too big for me because I've worked really hard to get myself in much more fit than I get myself a lot more fit than I was a couple of years ago. But I'm gonna clear out these clothes that don't fit so that way I can bring in because I actually do need to get some new clothes that actually fit me now. so, so I'm clearing out the old clothes so that way I can bring in new clothes that is something that I've worked really hard for that I'm blossoming into a healthier person that I've worked really hard to become. And so now I'm bringing in that even more aspects of the work that I've done being more rewarding. I don't know. So, and I'm still very big about trying to keep on top of. I still have a goal that I want to keep working towards. I've gotten very far in the year and a half that I've been working on getting myself in shape, but there is still more that I want to do. And so that's something that I have, because I kind of was starting to slip up with my workouts. And so now I've kind of been trying to refocus in, it's a we've got spring is a fresh new start. So there was, like I said, if there were certain things that you had goals to do, well, you have a fresh start. The beginning of the year tends to always be a mess. I don't know why, but it just does. Things just everybody's like all excited, like, oh, new year, I'm gonna, new me, all this stuff. And that's great, but a lot of times you get slapped in the face with things. So yeah, goals. If you have goals you want to do, sit there and release, clean out the negativity that you have about what you've maybe not achieved so far, and then bring in new goals. And the thing is, maybe you did start off with certain, New Year's resolutions, like you want to go to the gym every day, and you realize that wasn't quite so feasible. And so then you stopped going to the gym because you weren't completing your goal completely. Well, now, think about it and realize, okay, maybe that is not the most feasible thing for me. There it is. Maybe that's not the most feasible thing for me. So maybe I need to just start, because this is a time that, now that you've tried to go for the big thing, I'm very big about, I've talked about this a couple times, but I'm very big about starting small and then getting, because you can build. That's just how things are. You just like muscles, you start off small and then you gradually build them up. If you're trying to build muscle, you know, you don't go build muscle in a day. So you don't bulk up in a day. That takes time. So that's true with a lot of things, especially life changing things, life habits, and big goals tend to require lifestyle changes, and lifestyle changes are very hard to do. So spring, this is a good time to think about what new lifestyle changes you might want to make. And if it was something that you were trying to do at the beginning of the year and it wasn't working, like you fell off or whatever, release the fact that what you didn't accomplish and how frustrated you got, and now go, okay, what is a more realistic thing to do? So maybe going to the gym every day is not very realistic. So maybe let's start with just once a week, and then, keep working on that. And it doesn't matter how long that takes. Well, yes, you might want to go, okay, I'll go once this week and then I'll go twice next week. If you can do that, great. But if you just go once a week for a whole month, then that's great. That's something. Realize your progress. And if you have been working on, if there's been goals that you started with at the beginning of the year, also think about that. Think about the progress you have made. So this is a good time to clear out a lot of different things. And I mental spring cleaning is something that I feel like people do not talk about, and it is so important because it's everything. It's anything that is negatively impacting you. So, if you had a goal and you've not reached it, instead of thinking about what you've not accomplished, focus on what you have. And it's change your way of thinking. Try to think more positively so that way you can blossom. So, something I should actually think about. Think about yourself as a flower. It's springtime. And, flowers require sunlight and water. And so if we have too much darkness, if we have too much weighing us down or too much negativity, and I know it's just a thing, doesn't matter how good you are about trying to keep on top of being positive and whatnot, you're gonna slip into negative thoughts. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of things. Everybody does, and that's okay. It's okay. There are And even though the sun is out, there's still gonna be rainy days. But that doesn't mean that the sun doesn't come out, because the sun does come back out. So, and sometimes those rainy days make us realize how much more we appreciate that sunlight. So that's something to think about, think about things that make you not just think, not just clearing out the dark, that's any kind of negativity or anything that's not allowing you to blossom, but think about the things that do make you better, that do, contribute positively, and try to focus more on that stuff. So that whole clearing out things that no longer serve you, but then bringing in things that are good for you. And maybe you've, like negative habits. You want to clear out those negative habits to bring in new positive habits. And it's something that you've realized, oh, this makes me feel better. I kind of got a little bit of a taste of it and it makes me feel better. And so I want to keep building that up. And be kind with yourself. Flowers don't blossom overnight. They take time to fully bloom. And you have to make sure you water them, not just the sunlight, but it requires water. So that means you need to make sure you take care of yourself. And that's for any kind of spring cleaning that you're doing. Make sure you're still taking care of yourself. Make sure you're still checking in with yourself, and that it's not getting too overwhelming, that you are still doing the things you need to do and focus on. Because sometimes that can be too overwhelming. Going through stuff, I know for me, going through things gets very overwhelming and very stressful. So I can only do so much before I'm like, I can't do it anymore. So that's okay. You don't have to clear out your whole room in a week. If you take a section, and it doesn't even have to be like, okay, your closet. You don't have to clear out your whole closet in a day or in a week. Just go, okay, let me just pick one thing that I know is not something that I need anymore, or that I want anymore, and let me clear that out. And if it's just the one thing, great. And same thing with mentally. You realize just one thing that you don't like what's going on, and realize it, and it's all about small steps. There's such a thing. What is it? Oh. Slow and steady wins the race. Because when we try to go run for the big goal, you tend to get burnt out, and it tends to move too much, because you don't realize that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Because most things in life are marathons. So make sure you take time, and you take time to check in with yourself mentally, and really focus and think about the things that are being good for you and like aren't, mentally and physically. These are so important. So spring cleaning, it's definitely what I recommend. Spring cleaning can be physical and it can be mental. It doesn't have to be physical. You can do spring cleaning, because any kind of clearing of yourself, checking in with yourself mentally and trying to clear out anything that is not doing well for your mental state is good to do anytime. But this would be a great time to be able to do that, because it is spring, the sun is coming out, the flowers are going to be blooming and all of that stuff. So these nice new life is happening. So it is going to bring in automatically, even if you don't realize, there are the environment, the new life of, the grass being green again, the sun coming out, does actually have a positive impact on your mental health, even if you don't necessarily realize it. Like I said, the whole seasonal depressive disorder. So people would like to see things die in winter. The trees die and everything like that. So now we're past that, and we're back to the leaves are growing again and all of that. So that's gonna be it's gonna make you, even if it's not, make you like super pepped up and happy, there's still gonna be a part of you that's just gonna be happier to see this new life and this new growth and this new start. And this is a great time for new starts. But be patient with yourself. Take your time. You don't have to start rushing into things. You can take your time to realize the things you need to clear out. And take your time to then, and make sure, so take your time, really evaluate, take your time to figure out the things that you want to clear out. The spring cleaning. And that can be physically, that can be mentally. So really think about the things that you want to clear out. And then take your time on focusing on what you want to bring in. Because every time you clear something out, you need to make sure you have the idea of bringing something new in. And if that's you are going through your closet just because it's too full, you're bringing in new space. Or you're bringing in more space to be able to bring in new outfits that you might want. But either way, you're bringing in new space. You're bringing in a clear environment. So that still has something that you're bringing in. Even though you're getting rid of something, you're still bringing in something, which is new space that is maybe making you feel lighter. Letting different things go to make you feel lighter, Let yourself blossom. Be a flower. So figure out the things that are the things that are preventing your sunlight. And because you're it's a good time to be a little flower. I even have my flowers on. It's a good time to think yourself of a flower, and you're budding right now. And so figure out the things that are shadows that are preventing you from growing right now, and clear them out, so that way, clear out the clouds, so that way you can have the sun. Now, remember that the rain is going to come, and that's okay, but then you'll still have the sun. And the rain is necessary to be able to grow. And think about the things that you need to, because the flowers need to be watered. So think about the things that you need to make yourself blossom. Find the things that make you happy. Find the things that you feel that you need to do to make yourself feel better and happier, and start trying to do that. Release the things that aren't having any kind of good impact on you to bring in something new. So this is a great time to do that. Yeah, so, be a flower. Everybody loves flowers. Flowers are beautiful. Flowers are fun. And that's the thing. Flowers are out now. You've got flowers coming, so, if nothing else, just enjoy the flowers. Stop and smell the roses, right? There's a reason why that's a saying. Because it is something to realize. And even if it's just a matter of you're just enjoying the new life. But usually we have something that we can figure out that we need to clear out. Usually. There's at least something. There's usually always some kind of, mental block, or that's the thing, is just like the flower, we're always growing. So in order to have that growth, we need to clear out the things that are preventing our growth, that are preventing our growth, to then bring in the things that are going to help our growth. And so this is a good time to think about those things. So that's kind of all I have, is spring cleaning. Really embrace spring, whether it's just you're embracing and enjoying the new life, and the flowers blooming again, because now you're releasing the previous weather and bringing in the light, the sun, the flowers. So there's still something, but make sure as you whatever you're releasing, whatever you're letting go of, whatever you're clearing out, make sure you have something in mind that you're clearing it out to bring in something new, even if it's just space. But it's positive. Make sure you focus on the fact that this space is positive for you to have. So you're clearing out things, and this is again mentally or physically, you're clearing out things. And if it's because you have positive things that you want to bring in, perfect. But if it's just a matter of you're clearing things out because they are not, they're cluttering you, and that again, that could be items or that could be just in your head. You know, there's things that are cluttering you that you need to remove, but it's that space because you need to, you're cluttered. You need to release it. You need to let go of it. You need to get rid of it so that way you can free up the space. And so that way, and the space is important. So even though it doesn't seem like you're just throwing something away, that's it. No, no, no. Don't focus on it just being throwing something away. Even if it's just space, it's you have space. Space to feel more comfortable, to feel more relaxed, to feel, freer. Because, I mean, for an instance, a closet, when you get rid of outfits that you don't want anymore, you have space to bring in outfits that you do want. Or if it's just a matter of you just didn't like the clutter was stressing out, it was weighing you down, you're releasing that so that way you now have the weight lifted off of you, so you have that more air, you have more space so you can breathe, so you can feel more comfortable, feel more at ease. Space is something that, especially, but make sure you focus it as a positive space, a space, and that's mentally or physically, that clearing out for that space is because that space is going to have a positive thing, as in you feel freer, you feel, lighter, you feel you're able to make more room for the good. So make sure you do that. I highly, highly recommend that. Because that's just something I think people really, spring cleaning doesn't have to just be physical. It can be both mental and physical. And I highly recommend mental spring cleaning for sure. And make sure as you're clearing things out, you're bringing in the idea of something new. You're clearing these things out to make room for something better. That's important. Make sure you think about releasing the negativity to bring in the positivity. It will have an even bigger impact. So yeah, that's that's kind of all I have. But yeah. It's a great time to start new things. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe you're not even clearing anything out. Maybe it's just you want to start new things. You know, there may not be things that you need to clear out. Maybe it's just there's new things, a new direction you want to go. New habits you want to build, like Mama pointed out. New habits, new beliefs you want to build. So start that. You are a beautiful flower bud. Do what you need to do to blossom. Remove the clouds so the sun can come in, and figure out the things that are like water that help you grow so you can blossom. Yeah. So, that's all I have. I will be starting a Dead by Daylight stream with Llama Llama probably about 1 o'clock or so. So in about an hour, roughly, about 1:30. We'll be starting Dead by Daylight. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for coming and joining and hanging out. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys on the next stream. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!